Hello, welcome to Local Anesthetic Podcast, LAPodcast, episode 421, your home of weird news locally, of course, and around the world. And it's part 2 of our Christmas episode, Rob. And I'm joined by Rob for episode 421. What was that? What was that game show host? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was that?
Oh, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, yeah.
Was it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? No, it's 3, 2, 1. Yeah, he's referenced in bottom, but I can't remember his fucking name.
And it's
Alex.
not really
I mean, he was in
relevant because it's episode 421, not episode 4321. So
no, and also, I mean, I don't think he was U-Treed as far as I'm aware, but it was of that generation. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Rob, hello. Happy Christmas.
How are you?
Happy Christmas, part 2.
Happy Christmas to you, Alex.
Are you full?
Are you in the festive spirit?
Of course. Are you full from all that turkey and stuffing? Not a euphemism.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yes, it was very enjoyable, Alex. The fridge is still very full, actually. I think we may have gone overboard, considering there's only 3 of us.
Yeah. Do you want to pull my cracker?
Maybe next year.
Okay. All right. If you don't want the tasty treat that's inside, fine. Rob, is there any news before? Because I know you're going to finish a story that you were doing last week, which I loved, by the way. I was really enjoying that.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a rip-off, because I think listeners who have already heard the last episode know exactly which 2 stories I'm going to feature. I do have a listener story as well, but it's not Christmas-themed either.
Yeah, but you're going to finish that story about the grottos, or the yes, good.
I am.
Good, right.
Yes, I am.
All right.
I am.
Well, let me begin then. Let's get on with this. Rob, I've got a warning for you. Specifically for you.
Right.
It's from the Traitorous Guardian. Right. It's by their science correspondent doing public good, I would say, from the 20th of December. Should have really let you know about this before Christmas, but never mind. Hope it hasn't happened to you already. Headline, Risk of Penile Fractures Rises at Christmas, Doctors Find.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Is this trying to suggest that people are more adventurous around the Christmas period?
I don't know. I would have thought that they're less active this way during the Christmas period, to be perfectly honest. But let's hear about it. It may be the season of loving and giving. Is it? Season of loving? That's a new way of describing Christmas. Loving? I've never heard Christmas described as that's Valentine's Day, mate. There's no love at Christmas.
Yeah, they're getting confused there.
But doctors have warned against embracing this spirit too enthusiastically, at least where sexual relations are concerned. They have discovered that the Christmas period is associated with a significantly increased risk, Rob, of penile fractures, a medical emergency in which the erection-producing regions of the penis snap, usually as a result of forceful bending during over-enthusiastic sexual intercourse. Hang on a minute. Forceful bending during over-enthusiastic sexual intercourse. Don't know if we'll get that past the census, but you could fiddle around with it. This title, not your penis.
Yeah.
This injury tends to occur during wild sex, Rob, particularly in positions where you're not in direct eye contact with your partner, such as the reverse cow. Such as when you're masturbating in the bathroom on your own, Rob.
People might still be. There is a possibility that people may be sitting around, with their family in front of an open fire, listening to this podcast. This is not what they want over their festive period, Alex.
No, Rob, you're right. The fractures are often heralded, Rob, by this is where any man listening to this is going to wince. So I'm just preparing you. You might want to gird your loins, to quote the Bible, right now. You might want to tense up everything right now.
Right.
So, the fractures are often heralded, Rob, by an audible crack, followed by severe pain, rapid loss of erection, and severe swelling and bruising.
Oh, God.
When patients present to their doctor, their penis often looks like, Rob, an eggplant, otherwise known, I believe, as an aubergine. So that's what it would look like.
Right.
Yeah. Does your penis ever look like an aubergine, Rob?
No, that's never happened.
Okay.
Just like a piece of spaghetti normally.
More like a what's it called? Those baby carrots. Anyway, baby carrots for Christmas, always nice on the side. Suspecting that the intimacy and euphoria
Not on your plate.
of the festive season might be a risk factor for this type of injury. This doctor and his colleagues examined hospital data for 3,421 men who sustained penile fractures in Germany between 2005 and 2021. The study, the first to explore seasonal patterns for this type of injury, found that such injuries were indeed more common over Christmas. In fact, if every day was like Christmas, 43% more penile fractures would have occurred in Germany from 2005 on. The research, which was published in the British Journal of Urology International, Rob, which is a thrilling read. I've got every issue, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Yeah. Also found the risk increased at weekends and over the summer holidays. However, New Year's Eve was not associated with an increased incidence of penis injuries. Do you want to speculate on why that is, Rob? Why would New Year's Eve not be, associated with these penile fractures?
Alex, it could be maybe people are too busy drinking, Alex. Maybe that's what it is. Let's go with something wholesome, I suppose. Well, obviously not that binge drinking is wholesome, obviously.
They're too busy watching other sort of combustible objects explode, Rob. Fireworks, aren't they?
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
I don't know. They don't say that. I'm speculating. It would be interesting to see data from other countries, but in Germany, Christmas week is widely celebrated while New Year's Eve tends to be a bit quieter. That's interesting. Hospital admissions for penile fractures remained relatively consistent during the COVID-19 pandemic, including during lockdown periods. The average age, Rob, for sustaining such injuries was 42, which is, I'm above that. You're, around that, but they're getting there.
Yeah, that's surprisingly old, actually. I would have thought it would be a lot younger.
So did I, yeah. Well, most penile fractures occur in unconventional scenarios, such as during extramarital affairs or when sex is performed in unusual locations.
Sorry, extramarital affairs or sex in unusual locations.
Very good.
It's a great episode.
Good spot, Rob. So that would make sense. So what they're saying is, you got a guy hitting a midlife crisis. He has an affair. He wants to try all these things he's never tried before. Gets over-adventurous, fractures his penis. Lesson learned, Rob.
Of course.
Rob, if it does happen to you, please present to your doctor as an absolute emergency. If you're not treated, Rob, you could suffer long-term complications. So,
good to know, Alex. Good to know.
There are some common, what they call Chris-haps, which is not a good pun. So, unfortunate things that happen at Christmas. So it sounds like mishaps. Chris-haps.
Oh, okay.
The Guardian lists a few more of these, Rob.
Okay.
The humble Christmas tree, Rob, is one of the most common sources of accidents, with approximately 1,000 Britons sustaining tree-related injuries every year. According to a report, Rob...
Can I...
Hang on. Whoa. Okay, go on.
Okay.
Go on. These aren't sexual, Rob. It's not somebody trying to jam a Christmas tree up their ass.
That's exactly where I went. I thought someone was just thinking, oh, that looks like that could be pleasurable in some way.
Right, Rob. I'm going to just read this again. And this is, to me, the most mysterious thing I've ever read out in all 420 episodes previous of the podcast.
Great.
The Christmas tree is one of the most common sources of accidents, with approximately 1,000 Britons sustaining tree-related injuries each year. According to a report by the Royal Society for the Protection of Accidents, which makes sense, I didn't know they were a thing, and L'Oreal.
What?
Why?
Sorry.
Why have L'Oreal...
Is this a piece of research they felt they needed to sponsor in some way?
But exactly. What like how is this helping your brand as a makeup company, cosmetic company? Sorry. Make sure chairs and ladders are stable before standing on them to reach the upper branches, Rob, and take care when we don't all have Christmas trees that big, mate. When retrieving Christmas decorations from storage, a survey of 2,000 Britons commissioned by the National Accident Helpline, which apparently is also a thing, found that 1 in 50 had fallen out of the loft while doing so. Oh, Rob.
I mean, that sounds bad. If you fell out of a loft, fucking hell.
Rob, everything that's wrong with this country. Why are we a failing country? India have overtaken us as the 5th largest economy in the world. We're now 6th. We are crumbling. We are broken. We sure as hell don't feel like the 6th largest economy, Rob. Why? Because we have things like the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents and the National Accident Helpline. It's a nanny state, Rob. Look after yourself.
It is, Alex. You're right.
Fairy lights, Rob. Each year, about 350 Britons sustain burns electric shocks and other injuries from fairy lights. Take particular care around water. No shit. Between 1997 and 2010, 26 people were electrocuted while watering their Christmas tree with the light switched on.
Oh my God, what is the matter with people?
Exactly.
What do you mean they were... What? Who... Sorry, who waters a Christmas tree that's plugged into the mains? If it's a tree, surely it's in a pot. You put the water in the pot. Who is standing there with a watering can thinking, I know, let's water the tree from the top?
You're being very judgmental, and this is why we have the National Accident Helpline for poor, unfortunate people like this. Turkey trauma.
Right.
The National Accident Helpline survey also found that nearly half of adults had injured themselves while preparing Christmas dinner. So when they're fisting that turkey, Rob, getting that stuffing right up there, something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
1 in 10 reported having spilled hot fat on themselves. While 1 in 5 claimed to have cut themselves while preparing vegetables.
Again, those two I can kind of understand, but if anyone who's ever sort of preheated some oil in a pan, I mean, it can be boiling when it comes out, so that's understandable.
Champagne corks. The carbon dioxide in a bottle of champagne is under 2 to 3 times the pressure of the air in your car's tyres and can shoot a cork out of a bottle at up to 50 miles per hour. If one hits you in the eye, it could rupture an eyeball or detach a retina. So, avoid that. Last few, swallowed baubles, Rob. You ever swallowed any baubles? When you were,
Alex,
pulling...
strangely, I don't know. I don't tend to put them in my mouth.
Is this a euphemism?
Maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I suppose I can imagine a child doing it. I can definitely see, a toddler just taking a bauble off the tree and putting it in their mouth.
Well, Rob, US analysis of data from the, to be honest, dystopian, rather than something that sounds like from a dystopia. This is what it's named: the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System, which apparently collects emergency room admission data from representative sample of US hospitals. It sounds very sinister. The National Electric Injury Surveillance System found that between 97.
Can you imagine what they've been capturing over the last couple of years? I mean, there must be some hilarious.
Yeah, it's just 2 guys sitting in a room with some monitors,
just pissing themselves the various injuries the American public have suffered.
Well, it found that between 1997 and 2015, 22,224 children attended hospital after swallowing Christmas objects such as baubles or toy parts. Button batteries are a particular risk, don't know what that is, according to the ROSPA, because saliva can react with them to produce caustic soda, which burns the throat or stomach. So there we go, don't swallow any button batteries.
Oh, God.
Heart disease. Deaths from heart disease peak around Christmas and New Year, with one US study identifying a third more cardiac deaths in Los Angeles County during December and January compared with the June-September period. Further research suggested death peaked on Christmas Day, Boxing Day and New Year's Day, possibly because of delays in seeking treatment, Rob. All those nurses and doctors sitting around on their asses, Rob, rather than being, enjoying Christmas.
Despicable.
Rather than doing their job. Santa injuries, though rare, a separate analysis of data has found that between 2007 and 2016, 3 children reported to emergency rooms after falling off Santa's lap. And I don't know if this is related, but another girl injured herself, Rob, while running away from a Santa impersonator because she was scared. If extrapolated to the entire US population, this would equate to roughly 277 Santa-related injuries during this study period. So, there we go.
Great.
Rob, let's go to Amazon. Not the jungle. The tech company. This is from Business Insider.
Great.
Is there a date? Yes, 19th of December by Sarah Jackson and Hannah Getterhun. Headline: an Amazon warehouse told workers facing financial hardship they may get help if they write a letter to the company's orange blob mascot.
Sorry, I thought I misheard you. They may get help if they write... Is that what you said, to an orange blob mascot, Alex? First of all, what? And second of all, no, again, it's the same as my first question. What?
An Amazon warehouse, Rob, has told workers they can write to the company's orange blob of a mascot if they're facing financial hardship around the holidays, according to a new report. I'm looking at it now. I didn't... Yes, meet Pecky, the bizarre, beloved mascot you didn't know Amazon had.
What?
Universally recognised by Amazonians and nobody but the rest of us, he's a peculiar and unexpectedly rich symbol of the tech giant in its cold world. Describe it. It looks a bit like a kind of... I got no idea how to explain what this looks like.
Alex, I need to see it.
Can you just put in Pecky Amazon mascot?
Pecky.
He's their cultural ambassador. I've never seen this in my life. He's quite
Oh,
spooky.
God.
Yeah. Can you
What the
describe?
fuck is that?
Can you describe him? It defies explanation.
He
really.
looks like a Weetabix with legs and arms.
Yes, and he's got the Amazon logo for the mouth, and then he's got two spooky eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is that a thing?
Well, Rob, if you work for an Amazon warehouse, if you're facing financial hardship around Christmas, you can write to him, Rob. And at least one employee at the warehouse is criticising the initiative as tone deaf. The company posted a notice in at least one warehouse, for example, one in Rock Tavern, New York, that publicised the suggestion. According to Amazon, the initiative was specific to the site and not network-wide. It said, Are you or someone you know facing financial hardship this holiday season? The flyer read. Pecky wants to help. Write a letter to Pecky. If the Pecky team selects you, some of your holiday wishes could come true. Kenneth Williams, a worker at this Amazon warehouse who spoke to The Guardian, criticised the initiative. To him, Amazon could be spending more money on, in quotes, giving us the safety and security of a living wage, and less on company initiatives like Pecky. We want wages, not trinkets. Oh, God. I mean, he's very short-sighted, Rob. He's very short-sighted.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's like telling a McDonald's employee to write a letter to the clown. You know, take it to McDonald.
No, Rob, I'm siding with the corporate behemoth here. That's what I'm trying to say.
For the second time. Okay.
It's very short-sighted what he's saying. We want wages, not trinkets. Yes. Okay. A temporary, some sort of boost in wages might make some, small difference in the long term. But surely having something which you can project all your frustrations, fears, and needs onto, this trinket, as he calls it, Pecky, is needed, Rob. Surely that is more valuable to have something there. I'm sure they've got a room with a life-size Pecky in it, with a guy in a suit that they employ, some homeless guy probably, and he stands in this suit. It's made out of like a sort of foam, Rob, and warehouse workers can go in and punch the shit out of it. That, Rob, is more cathartic and I think more meaningful than higher wages. What do you think?
I disagree, Alex.
Right.
Just gonna put it out there.
Amazon was founded by Jeff Bezos, who currently serves as executive chairman, and he has a net worth of over $172 billion. Anyway.
But it's okay because the employees will get a keyring for Christmas.
Okay, Rob, you got some stories for us.
Yeah, so Alex, as promised, I'm going to pick up on the story from last week, which is from The Guardian by Amma Kalia. There we go, got there in the end. From the 13th of December. It is from 2021, so it is 2 years old, but it is such a great story.
Sorry, Rob, just to trouble me, I'm sure I've raised this before. What concerns me is you have a persistent issue with pronouncing names.
Yes.
And for any listeners who don't know, for quite a while, Rob worked as a registrar, which meant that publicly... So when you did this publicly, did you just rehearse the names beforehand, or were there times where you were like, oh, let's just call her Mary?
Well, Alex, I used to do citizenship ceremonies for probably about, I would say, between 20 to 30 people. Yeah, most of the time I would have to speak to people beforehand and literally write their names down phonetically to ensure I got it right. Didn't always happen even then. I mean, it's better than a colleague of mine who literally used to take a run up at the names and literally more or less apologise every time before handing them their certificate. So, yeah.
You made, I remember you saying you made quite a lot of money in backhanders during that time, didn't you?
No, that never happened, Alex. Don't even joke about that.
Sorry.
No, it was all above board, and the Home Office can attest to that.
There's been quite an increase, Rob, in immigration, as we know, in illegal immigration. So I just was connecting the dots. Rob, do you want to continue with your?
Not in my borough.
Do you want to please continue?
Yes, sure. So the headline, just to remind you, is even the reindeer were unhappy. Life inside Britain's worst winter wonderlands.
Yeah, which we said is basically like a microcosm, a sort of almost like a metaphor for Britain itself, Rob, didn't we? This is. The whole thing.
Yes, I think pretty much. Yeah. So last week we actually covered the elves, and and also we touched upon the Santas as well. So this week we're going to go to the performers. So we're going to start off with Katie, who says she writes, "I used to be a pretty good figure skater, and the group I trained with would often get booked for Christmas performances. We would usually do a stint of themed Winter Wonderland gigs in full costume, which was welcome cash for the Christmas season. They would generally be pretty depressing shows, though, performing to half-empty tents on fake ice, which we could often see members of the crowd walking out. I mean, that's got to be pretty demoralising, doesn't it?
Fake ice?
Performing it.
What's fake ice?
Well, I think it's non-melting ice, isn't it? I think there is a substance that you can I think you can skate. It's basically artificial. I don't know actually. I don't actually know what fake ice is, but apparently
you actually don't know what you're talking about, Robbie. Just pretend you do.
Yes, yeah, you're right, Alex. I mean, that's true for most things in my life. One year, we were set to do a series of shows at Winter Wonderland up north. We had our transport accommodation booked and headed to the venue. When we got there was no one at the site. It was just a tent in a field. We called the organisers, but they never picked up, and we weren't sure if we got the dates or the place wrong. It was only when we searched on Facebook.
What kind of experience is that? You just turn up to an empty field. There's just like a donkey at the back, and you're ringing frantically. Did they say it was just a tent there, or there was nothing?
Yeah. So when we arrived, there was no one at the site. It was just a tent in a field.
Well, at least got someone to sleep, mate.
Yeah, true. Facebook, it was only when we searched on Facebook that we saw all the angry comments from customers saying it had been cancelled without any notice. They haven't even bothered to tell us, so we went straight home without even getting our skates on. So now we move on to the Stately home workers. So this is from Sarah. I was between 5 jobs. Oh, sorry, no. I was between jobs 5 years ago and decided to do some temping before I found something more permanent. This is how I ended up working at a stately home, largely staffed by volunteers who all had very strange attachments to the place. They treated it as if it was their own to run, and as a consequence, they hated the manager whose job it was to look after it. One year, an events planner convinced the managers to put on Winter Wonderland. The problem was, it's a centuries-old property and so couldn't hold fairs or attractions. The person who put on the event neglected to mention that to the customers, though, and they were inevitably furious and disappointed. All they had was sweets and a few people dressed up, supposedly as Frozen characters, but the characters were so cheap you couldn't tell who they were.
Well, so just imagine standing around in this old building, right? And this, like, their idea of this Winter Wonderland is a few people dressed up in sort of Frozen type outfits and some sweets in a bowl. And that's your Christmas.
Yes, I think that's pretty much it.
God.
The volunteers were also egging people on to complain to the manager, so he would get into trouble. That's always nice, isn't it?
This sounds like a modern day, or 40 Towers. It sounds brilliant.
I mean, it goes Alex. So there had also been rumours that the place was haunted, and I spent that day hiding from angry visitors with an old volunteer who had dressed up as Father Christmas. He used to say the spirits of the house spoke to him. Great. He used to say the spirits of the house spoke to him. And when I went to lock up one night, once everyone had left, I could swear I heard footsteps moving in the dark. I didn't last long after that. The volunteers would secretly hold seances too, and it used to creep me out.
What is that? It's so
unbelievable, Alex. So you have a Santa Claus who used to hide from the angry volunteers and claims that the spirits in the house spoke to him, and the volunteers would hold seances. I mean, Alex, you couldn't make this up.
This is the thing, you see, Rob. Outside places like, well, basically London and the big cities, you get into the countryside. This is the kind of thing that happens, Rob, and goes on.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. You're absolutely right. Now, there's only 2 left, unfortunately. And we move on to the bouncer now. So this is from Dan. I've worked security for several years at all sorts of events, and little compares to the experience of being at a Winter Wonderland with an alcohol licence.
That's a good episode title. A Winter Wonderland with an alcohol licence.
Yeah, good point, yeah. A combination of Christmas parties, pints and ryes usually means that fights break out, as well as people throwing up and needing to be taken home. Once I saw a group of parents fighting because they thought one of the kids had pushed in front of the other in a queue. It's ridiculous, worse than some nightclubs. I just wish people had a bit more self-control.
No, they don't. I mean, they don't know how to behave anymore, mate.
No, I think the thing is they go along to these events feeling that feeling that it's going to install in them some sort of like Christmas spirit, and then they realise it's actually that's not going to happen.
Rob,
I think the way they counteract that is they get hammered.
Yes. But Rob, we already had issues in this country with knowing how to behave, right? But how can it be that a year and a half of going into lockdown for periods, often some of them quite lengthy, could regress people to the stage where they forget how to, where they become desocialized? I mean, because to me now we're kind of out of that and we're back in society. We should all be learning the ropes pretty quickly. I understand, maybe like you don't drive a car for, let's say, a year and a half, 2 years. You're going to be a bit rusty. But you don't just start driving on the wrong side of the road and ploughing into people. I think you pick it up again pretty quickly. Some people really are not picking things up quickly, Rob. Just the basics.
Yeah.
But it was all. But let's be fair. Pre-COVID, we've been covering stories since 2012. This has been an issue for a long time, Rob.
I agree, Alex. You're absolutely right. Now, let's move on to the very last part of the story, which is the organizer. And he says, I throw many successful events in my career, but none have been harder or gone worse than the Winter Wonderland I agreed to put on with an ex-mate a few years ago. We had an agreement to put on a fair with the grotto and all the trimmings for a couple of weeks, and he called me in as a business partner. I didn't have many contacts in the area, so I called around, and right from the off, it was a total mess. Lots of the contractors we had agreed to use would either cancel at last minute because they had better offers, or they would turn up and do a half-assed job. Meanwhile, the tickets were still selling well. It was clear we weren't going to be ready to open on the advertised date, but greed got the better of our mate, so he let people arrive, inevitably bringing on an onslaught of complaints. We had no choice but to shut down a few days later because local papers were picking up on the story and everyone was demanding their money back. Needless to say, it ruined our friendship. We made no money from the whole thing. I'll never do an event like this again.
Even I would know, Rob. If anybody ever tried to rope me into any type of running or involvement in a Winter Wonderland event, I would pay money not to do that.
Yes, I agree, Alex. Shall I move on to my second story, which we also talked about in the episode?
Yes, we can, Rob, but I am convinced, didn't we cover this story about Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen originally?
I think we may have done, but I think it's a Christmas story. I mean,
well, we're now doing best of now, are we, Rob? Is that what we're doing? Regurgitating old stories. The world has run out of stories.
Episode 400, Alex?
Huh?
We did it for episode 400.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it's only episode 421 and we're already doing it again.
Alex, I think we need to. I think we may well have done. I think we probably did.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the first 100 episodes, Rob, and I'm going to run them through one of those online speech-to-text things to get a transcript. And I'm going to send you the transcripts for each 100 shows, and when we record, we'll just hook up and we'll just regurgitate those shows. Read the scripts. Do them again, Rob, but do them again for a new generation.
I mean, there's part of me actually quite likes that idea because I could really, I feel like I could give some real gravitas to the character.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Right, Rob, get on with it. Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen.
Sorry, right, yeah. Yeah, so this is from the 23rd of November 2014 by Kevin Rawlinson. And the headline is, Winter attraction designed by Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen shuts after a day. I mean, that's quite impressive. After a day.
Oh, yes. That means that's serious health and safety. I mean, if that's happened, that's serious. It's a serious health and safety concern, I imagine.
So, it was billed as a Winter Wonderland of magic and drama, but a Christmas attraction designed by Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen is closed down after a day following a flood of complaints. So, visitors to the Magic Journey near Sutton Coldfield said it was far from magic when Santa Claus handed out cheap plastic toys that were not wrapped. I mean, at the very, very basics, wrap your fucking presents.
No, I'm going to be honest, I don't expect them to be wrapped. I don't expect hundreds of these things to be wrapped. I don't, Rob. Come on.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, maybe we're different people, Alex. Some said they were kept... This is what I expect from my presents. They need to be wrapped at the very least. I don't care if it's cheap and plastic. It needs to be wrapped. Some said they were kept waiting for around up to 40 minutes to see Santa, while others claimed that there were long queues for the attractions and said that the children had been left in tears. One said it ruined the magic of Christmas.
Well, you're gonna get lost. Go to Disney World then. If you try waiting 40 minutes there, that'll be short. What are you talking about? If it was good, it will be popular, and if it's popular, then it means you're gonna have to queue. It's a sign of quality, Rob. Long queues.
Of course, Alex. Yeah. Father Christmas has selected the Belfry Resort and also asked his close friend Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen to create a North Pole outpost that would be a wonderful wonderland of magic and drama. Read the event's website. One visitor, Natalie Craig, wrote on Facebook, "You did not deliver what you advertised. Magical experience, what a joke." Another unsatisfied customer, Ben Harvey, wrote, "What a complete waste of money. You basically walk around a small wood while people dressed as elves try to slow you down to keep the waiting down to see one of the various Father Christmases." Sounds like a perfect winter attraction.
So it's basically a small wood with different Father Christmases dotted around, which would be confusing for the kids. And these elves who try and slow you down so you spend longer there, and also so there isn't too much congestion to see. Because it did say the various Santa Clauses dotted around.
Yes.
That would be confusing for a child. Most children believe, erroneously of course, that there's one Santa Claus, when of course there are in fact many.
Well, Alex, it's about to get more confusing.
Right.
So I think this is another quote. "There is nothing for the kids to do. The elf who is meant to be Simon Cowell is completely pointless."
So what does it mean, the elf that is meant to be Simon Cowell?
Are we saying there's an elf dressed as Simon Cowell? Why?
You know, that strange haircut,
reason?
a shirt unbuttoned. Simon, his shirt was literally unbuttoned. No, but when I say unbuttoned almost to his navel, that isn't an exaggeration.
No, I know, yeah.
Anyway, let's not... I'm sure Simon Cowell has very good lawyers. He did, of course, in the past, employ for many years Max Clifford. But so we can assume that he has sort of, Rob, lawyers of that calibre. So I don't think we really want to mention Mr. Cowell.
No, let's leave it there. The quote goes on, "The advertised pictures are very different from what you see and do, and it is not a magical journey. I don't think it's worth half the money we paid." Organisers claimed the venue was not ready.
Do we know?
Does it say? No, it doesn't say, unfortunately.
Okay.
I wonder if... I might see if I can find out. Because it does say in the local paper. Is it linked? Oh, hang on. Now, is the event's website still going to be live?
No.
No. No, it is not. Unfortunately, magicaljourney.co.uk. I wonder if I just take it to... This is the About page. I wonder if I just try and take off that and see if that redirects me to something else. No, the website is no longer... It's actually for sale, Alex, if you want to make an offer.
Straight away. I'm in there.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll do that. Organisers claim that the venue was not ready on its scheduled opening day, Saturday, because bad weather has set back construction. Paul Dolan, the events director, said the visitors had been offered their money back and that the site would remain closed until the 26th of November.
So can I just ask you,
Yes.
Why did they close it straight away? Is this Lawrence Llewelyn-Bowen? Like, he's basically subcontracted this out and he just wasn't happy. He didn't want this associated with his brand? Because it's not like anybody, was hurt or injured. They just had a bit of a shitty time.
Well, I mean, Alex, it sounds like they were met with, considerable complaints. I think there's just the sheer volume of complaints probably tells you everything you need to know. I'm trying to find out. There's a lot of features. There we are. So this is the Daily Mail's article on the attraction. It was £22 a head.
I think that's reasonable. I don't know what people are complaining about.
I want to see if there's got any additional detail. But the Magical Journey Winter Wonderland attraction was shut off just one day after rude staff, a sweary Father Christmas, and elves that sat around smoking left children in tears. That sounds familiar.
Right. Now, Rob, that's what I remember from this story. Not all the guff you read. I remember stuff about a Santa swearing, elves sitting around smoking in the woods, Rob.
Dressed as Simon Cowell, apparently.
Yeah.
Which feels more like some sort of mushroom. What's what I'm looking for?
Rob, are you all right, Rob? You just started going on about mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Sorry, Alex. Just needs to be reset there.
All right, Rob, I want to move on from this because we've got to get on to the listener story in a minute, but I've got to read a story. I want to share, Rob. Can we move on?
Of course we can, yeah.
I want to share a quintessence. Look, because it's Christmas, and it's our Christmas episode part 2, I want to share a story
Great.
that takes us back to where we began this podcast, which is weird local news stories, often about people being pissed off, folding their arms in a picture about something or the other. And I've got a classic one, Rob.
Yep.
It's from the Bournemouth Echo, otherwise known as the Daily Echo, from the 21st of December, by Matt Simpson, their digital reporter. Headline: fears, in quotes, children could be killed if wonky tree falls down.
Oh my god! This isn't the wonky tree in March, Cambridgeshire, is it, by any chance?
A pensioner fears that a school child could be killed if he is not granted permission to hack down 2 trees in his garden.
Sure. Okay, I'm with you.
Albert George, 82, has sought planning permission to fell 2 trees in his back garden in St Margaret's Road, Poole, 8 times. So he's already made 8 applications, Rob. Despite an appeal with the planning inspectorate, he has been refused each time by Bournemouth Council and former Poole Borough Council in cases dating back to 2013.
Okay.
Reaching the end of his tether, Albert is again pleading for the council to let him fell the 70-foot tall trees. Now, before we move on with this, Rob, the thing that really surprised me about this story, and you can educate me now, because I don't know, I feel like this is something you might know about. You know about a lot of things. I had no idea that if something was on your property, i.e. a tree, you can't cut it down. It's his fucking garden. He owns the house. They're his trees. And the council is saying, no, mate, you can't cut them down. What?
I don't.
It's not on public land, Rob.
No, it's not. I don't. I have a feeling the reason being is because you need specialist contractors to cut a tree down of that size, and maybe you need council permission to do that. Maybe they need to grant access. I don't know. I'm not. That surprises me.
He said, we moved into this house as a new build 12 years ago, and since then we've been trying to get permission for these trees to be felled. My main concern is that it will fall on the kids who would be in the direct path of the trees if they fall down. They're wonky, they've got fungus growing on them, they need to come down, they're dangerous. He's had to trim and cut back the trees and said he spent £900 on them so far. The couple who moved to Poole from Middlesex 16 years ago for a quieter life also fear the tree could fall on a substation outside their home. His wife, Linda, 79, added, the land was originally a pub garden. People got together and put the tree protection order on the trees thinking it would stop the house being built.
That's
so basically,
why.
Right. We were told the trees can't be cut down mainly because of aesthetic reasons. They say it makes the area look nice. Her husband of more than 60 years added, well, what can I say? Congratulations, whoever you are.
That's nice to hear, Alex. That someone who actually values, the sanctity of marriage, Alex.
Right. Her husband of more than 60 years added, it doesn't look aesthetic at all for the area, especially in the winter when all the leaves are off. It's just a dead tree, mate. Well, not dead, just a hibernating tree. On the 8th attempt, the decision was appealed and the planning inspectorate ruled in favour of the council's refusal. In a letter, the inspectorate said, I found that the 2 copper beech trees in question have significant public amenity value, thus meriting the continued protection of the tree protection order. I've also found none of the reasons advanced to be sufficiently compelling as to outweigh the desirability of these trees being retained. And Rob, now listen to the snark. You get ready for the snark from the BCP, the Bournemouth Council spokesperson.
I can't wait.
Mr. George is welcome to make a 9th application if he believes the condition and state of the trees has significantly changed. A 9th application. That's saying, that's...
They're goading him, Alex. They're goading him. He's like, try again, fucker.
There you go. Right, let's, Rob, because it's Christmas, let's go to the comments. Because they're good. Right, here we go. Been a while since we've read the comments of the good people of the Bournemouth Echo.
Yep.
Rainbow Yawn says, these trees are lovely in the spring and summer. Thanks for that. Ahead of Time says, not again. How many times has he run to the Echo? He should know by now. It does not work. Sorry.
Good point.
Core Ray Dal says, if Albert was so concerned about the trees, perhaps he shouldn't have moved in. The trees and the TPO were both in place before he was. Another winter, another snowflake. Grey-haired Doris says, agree with what you say. So many people think they can move in and then get permission to chop down trees. However, if there's fungus growing around the base of the tree, as he claims, then the tree is probably dangerous. My mother had a lovely copper beech in the corner of her garden, but fungus was spotted and reported to the council. They declared the tree dangerous. If we hadn't got it chopped down, we'd be facing a fine as well as the council doing the work anyway and charging us. When the tree was down, what looked perfectly healthy on the outside was rotting from the centre outwards. A different council, of course. All right, grey-haired Doris, we don't need your life story. Pink Petunia says, what makes them likely to fall on children? He's really scraping the barrel there. They're perfectly healthy trees. They've been inspected enough. Why move into the house if you didn't like the trees? That's your bad. Move somewhere else. More boring, with no trees, no wildlife.
Yeah, for Alex, for all we know, he's deliberately putting children in the path of those trees.
Local to the people said, why didn't the Echo ask him why he bought the house in the first place, knowing full well what the situation was with the trees? And Nothing to Fear says, that would be borderline investigative journalism, something the Echo doesn't do. Can I just say borderline investigative journalism should be the episode title.
Yeah.
Penguin22 says Albert seems to be doing what developers and politicians usually do, not giving in, repeat it enough times and it will be believed. Arthur Bumfries
sure
says he looks so angry when stood next to the tree, like he wants to fight it. Won't somebody think of the children? Pensioner getting a good hiding, comment name of the year, says if this old scrote isn't happy with the predicament that he finds himself down here, he should consider moving back to Middlesex. Dorset Republic says those types moving down here expecting to change everything. First he was worried about the kids, then it was the substation. Basically he wants more light in his garden. I'm glad the council have refused. Let him sulk and go back to Cockney land.
Brilliant.
Because as everybody knows, Rob, Middlesex, and I guess London by extension, is otherwise known as Cockney land.
Cockney land. Also a great theme park. Okay, Rob, let's finish with our listener story of the week. What you got? Who's it from? So this is from Steve, submitted from the Nottinghamshire Live. I've noticed that all the live publications, which are part of Reach PLC, have a Christmas Santa hat on the E of live. So very festive.
Steve, thank you for submitting this story. Brilliant.
Now, it isn't Christmas themed, but everyone enjoys a takeaway at Christmas. It feels like that should be part of Christmas, or at least part of your traditions. So it's from the 8th of December by Neil Shaw, who is the network content editor, in brackets, Live and Trends. Meaningless. And the headline is, Takeaway bans customer for 1,000 years for 1-star review.
1,000, right? So there is a great episode of. I remember, Rob, you watched all the episodes of Seinfeld. Good on. Have you finished them now?
I have.
Yes, you did, of course. Yeah. The Soup Nazi,
yes.
And by the way, he was based on a real guy in New York.
Oh, really?
When I went to New York, I went there. This was at the height of Seinfeld and all that, and he was.
You just put the money on the counter, and then you just.
It was all just bizarre. There were lots of bizarre. It just felt like you had to do things a certain way. Yeah. But he did that, didn't he? But it was like 1 year, not 1,000 years.
No. This feels like
in a free society. Can you do that? I don't know, because you could take it to court for discrimination, couldn't you? If a baker can't make a cake for a what were those things that people got into where like a Christian baker refused to make a cake for a gay wedding?
For a gay couple, yeah. For 1-star review feels like that's I feel
just going back to that. Just going back to that cake thing, the only thing about that is, obviously, it was, I understand why the couple and these various people would have taken these bakers, whoever they were, to court and won. But if I'm in part of that couple and I want my cake made, I don't want to be forcing anybody who doesn't want to make my cake, because I'd worry about then that cake.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? I'm not saying I do believe he should have made the cake, obviously, but
yeah, anything you're going to consume that's been made possibly with some resentment in mind.
That's why you don't want to upset takeaway people, Rob, because obviously, they could shit in your food.
You're right, Alex, yeah. Shit in your food, I mean, that feels quite obvious if you're going to shit in someone's food. I mean, that's quite clear what you've done it. I mean, I would say something like rat droppings would be a lot more subtle. They could be confused as chocolate buns.
I'm going to ask you this now, Rob. Do you think it's possible, and I'm asking you this genuinely, there's at least one takeaway in Britain, Rob, where under the counter they have a little pot of shit,
Right.
And for anybody that pisses them off, they just take out a fleck and put it in, mix it in the, the pitta of your kebab or whatever. Do you think that's actually happening right now somewhere?
I mean, it's possible.
They could have a whole raft of vials, semen.
Well, Alex, I'm thinking about
piss.
that guy who was prosecuted after rubbing his genitalia on various kitchen utensils. I mean, there's nothing to say that someone hasn't, rubbed their cock over some chips.
There's a takeaway I used to go to, and I loved the guys there, but often they'd leave the door open to the kitchen out the back. Oh my God, Rob. It was just like this most unhygienic looking thing. And they'd just be like this great big slab of meat, or it looked like a carcass of something just lying on this table, like blood everywhere. Yeah.
I just had this image there of a man sitting, just basically taking a dump, and then just has a spatula on a really long pole, just flipping the burgers at the same time. I don't know why. Just saves time in the long run. Sorry, Rob. Always look at the food hygiene rating. I mean, there's a takeaway I use regularly. Theirs is 3 out of 5. That's not actually great when you think about it. No, because it makes you think, why is it that low?
Yes, but there was a takeout I was using for a long time where I discovered their food hygiene rating was 2 out of 5, and I had to stop. I just thought, Alex, 2 out of 5 means it's one above rats everywhere.
Yeah, I think you can score 0, can't you? I think.
I don't think you can. I don't know. I think it's a bit like when you leave an Amazon review. I don't think you can leave 0 stars.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I'm just thinking, what would a 0 be? You're taking the food into the bathroom with you.
We're talking of Seinfeld, like Kramer, who obviously prepared a lovely meal for his friends in his shower, where he installed a waste disposal unit.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good episode as well. So, a takeaway has banned a customer for 1,000 years for posting a rude review. Hungry Paula. I mean, I'm assuming is that her nickname? Or
that sounds like the sort of name that you'd have on a dating site for very sexually...
voracious.
Voracious, thank you. Sexually voracious people, Rob. Hungry Paula.
Hungry Paula sounds like also a very niche, Pornhub channel. Anyway, yeah. Hungry Paula complained that she had bad service.
It's also a really good name for a takeout. Oh, which it is, yeah.
No, this is the commenter.
Oh, so I thought that was the name of the takeaway.
The review. No.
Right.
So Hungry Paula complained she had a bad service. So Ali's Grill said the customer and her family would not be allowed to step foot until the 30th of October, 2023.
Can I just say, Ali's Grill, brilliant. I always look, because I look at a lot of these places, and I always imagine the brainstorming that went on behind the name. So they would have had this whole list, and in the end, it's like, do you know what? My name's Ali. I'm running a grill. Ali's Grill. That will do.
They've gone for the path of the least resistance there, without a doubt. The eatery said it would be a blessing not to be alive to serve her. It also said it was clear she wanted to see. It was also clear she wanted to see their downfall. I mean, they've really taken this personally, Alex.
They have.
Paula left the kebab house a 1 out of 5 rating for service and a 2 out of 5 rating for food. Her review said that the guy serving shouldn't be there dealing with the public, as I find him so rude with the customers. The unknown owner said, you personally weren't there. He claimed your daughter and her boyfriend were there. They were being silly. Trying to enter the shop through the window into the serving area and asking silly questions. Sorry, what? They were trying to enter through the window?
Rob, I'm as confused as you are, mate.
Okay. I think they were also intoxicated. I love the fact he's thrown that in as well. The person you're referring to wasn't rude. I would urge you to act how they did to any other business in the country and see how they react. Okay. It's nice to see how you feel, though, as you left a very unkind review like that without being a witness to what happened. Judging by your review, it looks like you really dislike us and wish for our downfall. I would like to introduce...
Rob, can we read her review? Can we read her review?
Oh, hang on. Yeah, that might be tricky, Alex. Ali's...
Well, no, we just need one. We need... Is it a Google review?
Did it actually say what it's on, actually? That's a good point. What platform does it say?
Ali's Grill. Where is Ali's Grill?
It must be Nottinghamshire somewhere, but they haven't said what town it's in. Is there anything under...
It's Cobham in Nottinghamshire, Rob.
No, Cobham's in Surrey. Yeah, it doesn't actually say where the review was posted.
Hang on a minute.
Again, really lazy journalism. Doesn't say where the takeaway is. Doesn't say where the review was left.
No. And that, by the way, Ali's Grill could be anywhere because Nottingham Post could be reporting it from somewhere else. I'm looking at the picture of it, but it doesn't say where it is. It's next to the 225 Club. Hang on, Ali's Grill. I'm going to do this, Rob. We're going to do the bloody journalism they didn't do. Ali's Grill, 225.
I'm going to see if anyone else has picked up on the story. No, the Wales Online just reposted it verbatim because obviously that's all they do these days. They just rehash it.
It's Cobham. It's Cobham.
Oh, it's in Cobham. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. I thought.
Yeah, and then because here I've got the 225 Club next to it, so I believe it's the one in Cobham.
Oh,
where is Cobham, Rob?
I think Cobham's Surrey. So, Alex, this isn't a story from Nottinghamshire at all, is it? Let's be honest.
There's another 1-star review here from Christopher Hogben. After seeing your shop in the news, I decided to read your review and review your reviews. It looks like many people don't like your customer service. I note your replies, although explaining the situation, come across as very aggressive. To me, this is my only experience of your customer service, and I found it very bad. Banning someone and their entire family for 1,000 years seems extreme. It's very unfair on their family, who may all be decent people. So, Rob, they didn't just ban her, they banned her lineage forever.
Yes, they banned the entire family, yeah. Which I'm guessing would be also generations of a family if it's going to be 1,000 years.
Yeah. To treat an entire group of people, of related people, based on the action of one person is pretty much the same thing as banning an entire race of people based on skin colour. You think that's acceptable and good customer service? My thanks go to Plymouth Live for highlighting your business skills to the UK Facebook community. So Plymouth Live have also covered it. We've got another 1-star review, Rob. Paula Conciacio. The guy serving...
That must be her. Paula. Hungry Paula.
The guy serving shouldn't be there dealing with the public. I find him so rude with many of the customers. Please just leave or you close the shop as soon as I noticed on Friday night was completely empty. Response, you personally weren't there. Your daughter and her boyfriend were. They were being silly. This is the one. I would like to introduce a 1,000-year ban for you and your whole family. The next time you can enter our shop and buy food is 30th of October 2023, although I suspect we won't be here nor alive, which is a blessing. So we're finished with these baseless reviews from people with hate in their hearts. Goodbye. Oh, God, Rob. Oh, God. Oh.
Wow.
Sorry for taking over your story.
No, not at all.
Very rude owner. Somebody says, I won't go there for 1,000 years. John Saunders, my wife and I have been using Ali's Grill for a long time every Friday, but the last couple of times very poor. We used to love the Donners, but the new guy with glasses doesn't seem to care. It was undercooked, very greasy. Asked for chili, went to eat, no sauce. Used to get a big bag of chips, a very tiny amount. When he does it, he should not work there if he doesn't care. Last time we used him to waste money. The good people of Cobham, Rob, have no idea what punctuation is. None.
No. What I love, Alex, I mean, it feels like this 1-star review, because it's getting so much publicity, that's what's going to take his because, I mean, let's face it, Reach PLC have basically published it across the entire country. We know it's on the Wales Online, we know it's on the Nottinghamshire Live, we know it's in Plymouth Live. So, yeah, I feel quite bad for this guy.
I just want to give you the response from the owners of that commenter, Rob. He just says, the guy with the glasses has been here since we opened the shop.
That's good. It's good to know, Alex.
Beverly Benny Gibbs says, Ali's Grill Cobham takes advantage. Both me... Again, no understanding of punctuation. Ali's Grill Cobham takes advantage. Both me and my friend had a kebab, the worst of our life, full of red cabbage, no meat for me and my friends, was disgusting, like it had come from the floor. The server looked very grimy, making food, taking money and answer phone, with no gloves, needs health and safety inspection, no disabled access. Rob, is there an issue in Cobham with sort of... literacy?
Interestingly, I thought Cobham was a very sort of salubrious part of the world, but apparently that money hasn't been spent on education fees.
So there's a response from the owner. We have disabled access. There's a ramp outside the shop with rails. We also don't currently have a phone to take orders. While your review initially concerned me, I now realise you have lost all credibility by lying about the lack of disabled access and having a phone. This is the way to respond to the concerns of your customers, Rob. Usman Eli says, I'm sorry, but the customer service is something they need to take very seriously. They need to learn the manners and courtesy for the customer. The one with the glasses needs to learn how to serve customers. Either he's too young or doesn't bother with the importance of it. The only person who is right there and gives smile is the lady who makes fries. Trust me, I give them the benefit of the doubt, thinking busy time, maybe getting on them. But last 2 times I visited, they were fairly quiet and still appalling service. It's a genuine and serious comment. Please take it as constructive criticism. Food is okay. Mostly nice food, but last time my chicken was underdone. All one sentence, no punctuation.
Lovely.
People are piling in. Another commenter, I went for some food and all I got was a 1,000-year ban.
Amazing.
Let's just read one more, and because they go on and on, Rob. 1-star review again. Wow, where do I start? The customer service is poor. There's no bathroom facilities. The food is not fresh and far from authentic. It's dirty, unsanitary. I also got food poisoning the day after. Please avoid at all costs. Response from the owner. Thank you for your feedback. This is a very big deal for us, so we've had to investigate what happened via CCTV footage and the member of staff. At around 14:45 on the 27th of February 2020, you came into the shop requesting a place for you to change your daughter's diaper. As we do not have these facilities, the member of staff declined respectfully. However, you were not happy with this. Due to your body language and behaviour, the member of staff refused service and asked you to leave the shop, as we don't tolerate abuse. There is now a used nappy in front of the shop, along with a review full of lies, both of which can be damaging to our business. If anybody has been personally affected by this review, please come in and we can tell you what happened. But Rob, he does end it with, we're sorry you feel this way and how a lack of baby changing facilities may have upset you. So that, Rob, is quintessentially good customer service. That is, from beginning to end, the way to respond to a customer's complaint.
Correct.
We gathered round, we looked at the CCTV, and we realised you are in the wrong.
And we'll call you out on it, but then apologise.
Andreas Goberis, which is a great name, says no respect for the customer from the staff. We've spent over £50, order the chips and no chip giving. Starter Shouts has been very aggressive. I hope the boss will review this and will talk to his staff. And the owner says, really? Thanks for coming back in and ordering food just now.
Okay, brilliant.
Rob, this has been over an hour, mate. It's been enjoyable. Our Christmas episode, part 2. Have you enjoyed yourself, Rob?
I have, Alex. It's been a ball.
Will this tidy you all over to the new year? I don't understand what's happening, Rob. We're going to discuss this live on air. When are we recording again? Are we having a break? What's happening? We've got a New Year episode? What's going on?
Well, this will be our new year episode, Alex. So I think we need to wish the listeners a very happy 2024. Yes,
Okay.
it will. Yeah. Would you like to do that, as I've just done it?
Yes. Happy 2024. What we should probably announce now then, Rob, with your permission, is that as we're heading into the new year, really, it should have happened for this episode, but it's fine. We wanted to keep this as part of the Christmas two-header. You will be hearing a few changes in the next episode. Specifically, our name will be changing of this podcast. Can you believe it? Why? Well, we were talking about names earlier of things. The name of our podcast has been a bit of a problem ever since we started it. Rob and I were sitting around spitballing and being too clever for our own good, local anaesthetic, local news.
Yep.
We've sort of broadened beyond that, and also I think a lot of people who see our podcast think it's either to do with medicine or Los Angeles because of LA, and that has nothing to do with it. So you will be seeing a new name in the next episode. It will still come through on your same feed, won't it, Rob? But you'll get a new name, and there'll be some other new bits. So we're going, Rob, aren't we, for the full rebrand? We
really are, yeah. Not just like a upgrade. It will be look completely different. I think that there will still be the same beautiful quality content that you know and love, but it might be slightly different. I am wondering whether we do take a bit of a pause now, Alex. Maybe we give ourselves a bit more time to get everything in place.
Yeah, potentially. We'll discuss that off air. What I would say, of course, is the rebrand, Rob, is the hallmark of every failing business. So we could really, we could really do. It's the last ditch effort before you get the closing down.
Before they call the administrators in, yeah.
So please do visit our website, LAPodcast.net. There is a donate button in the top right hand corner. Think of it as leaving us a tip. You can leave us a tip just for enjoying these episodes. We'd really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Please leave us a review wherever you can. Hit subscribe, and we're going to be back in we don't know how long, but it won't be long. It won't be long. It'll either be a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is. Rob and I will figure that out. And we look forward to ushering you into the to the rebranded podcast.
Yeah.
God bless.
And keep it local.
Merry Christmas!